Team Uraotogi is based on a man called Suzuka who had lost a fight to Toguro, younger one of course, and wanted to defeat him in a match between the both of them later on at the Dark Tournament. He gathered 4 demons and gave them all items so that they would have an easy time to try and take him on. So, that said, he has a hodgepodge crew of people who don't really do anything that specific that have their own team. So what does it do? Well, it makes your opponent unable to draw cards past 6, and makes them unable to attack when they would discard below 1. So in short, he has hand control and the ability to stop people from attacking. Is it any good? Well, yes, actually it's amazing. This team bonus is one of the best, if not the best. It controls drawing from the opponent, it has hand control, it has a built-in defense, it's got a bit of pretty much everything you would ever want out of a control deck. The pros, the team has hand control and defensive powers, and the cons are the team has 3 not-so-good characters. You only need 3 to win, 3 characters to win matches, and 2 of them are going to be a probable loss. Who the team has a good chance to beat? Well, most of them, but especially Toguro. Since it has hand control, it shuts down Togoro's ability to just completely wreck your face in. Since it stops Toguro from beating your face in, you would have the same advantage towards some of the other teams as you would with Toguro. Since your opponent has to discard cards to attack, then if they can't attack, then you stop them from attacking, which that's the whole basis of the team. So they would have the same advantage over Toguro, just Toguro can't really use their ability if they can't discard past a certain amount. Who would it have a problem with? Probably the Saint Beast. Since they draw 3 a turn, they would have a small attack swing, out every turn, as well as the possibility of having a larger every now and then. The deck is, well, your deck's going to need to have cards that discards from your opponent's hand. Zombies on the Hunt is great since it trades a card for a card and gives less chance to either have your opponent play stuff, or it makes them have a harder time to attack if they are actually saving up for one. Same goes with Desperate Decisions. These cards and Healing allow for you to make sure that you have a hard time being defeated while trying to beat an opponent. How the deck works? Well, you'll have to put Shishiwakamaru in the 4th slot, so that you can get hand and set up for matches 2 and 3. Your first match is more or less a stall, so you can work out getting cards needed for the matches and fights who matter. Your Urashima goes well in slot 1, and he can even be wasted for a fight. Just try not to really use him. With an attack cost of 3, he costs way too much to just throw out an attack, and his attack is kind of shitty anyway, so just let him just sit there and take a beating. You don't even have to heal him or anything, just let him die. Match 2 and 3 will be all about making sure Suzuka and Kuromomotaro have the cards needed to fight off an opponent. Shishi should, by the time you get to match 4, have his items that work with him. As for cards in the deck, well, you want to have hand manipulation and healing, and cards like Jigana and Life Threads either make you discard a card from your opponent's hand or make an opponent have to discard more for a cost. As for the final bit, stuff like Orb of Bast and the armor cards are fantastic in the deck as they allow walls for Kuromomotaro, and hand discarding for cards that are events. So when your opponent would draw, not only would you draw from Shishi, if you have an Orb of Bast out, they're not going to be able to actually get much of a hand advantage from cards such as Katie Love and Burst of Power, which that's what, they do, they draw. So, in conclusion, Uraotogi is by far, an amazing team. Even with its slight drawbacks, you'll pretty much have a good time in the game. Hand control is always a powerful thing, and in later sets, it's just going to get way better, because there's going to be more cards to discard from the opponent's hand, there's going to be cards to make your opponent have a higher attack cost, there's going to be cards that make your opponent unable to use certain attacks that make them, it just does really good stuff to make your opponent unable to defeat you easily. And so Uraotogi is by far, through the entire game, one of the best entire teams.